feel like I'm forgetting something, but I know I'm not. Hello, blue dude. Okay. And now I'm just gonna hang out until more people get in here. Hi, Peter Sonic. I'm excited. I'm very excited. As you can see, I have my business attire on, but it's actually a lie. I have sweatpants on. So it's really just business on. It's like my COVID fit. Teacher fit goes hard. Yeah, I got this on sale for $5 at JCPenney. We love JCPenney. But I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I have 3 screens right now, not including my phone, because I'm probably not even going to use my phone for like the first stream ever, but I'm so excited. This is probably going to be another really long stream, so if you guys come in and out, don't worry. Emailing is hard. I didn't send any. I thought I could have sworn you did. I don't know why I'm imagining that. That's okay. You can still submit. I'll honestly take any submissions as I go, depending on time, of course. By the way, in my submissions, there's a lot of repetition because I've been I've been ovulating and can't stop drawing my ship. That's okay, I feel that. Also, hello, Team Picoyo and friends. Hi, Zonic. Can I send on Discord? Yeah, sure. I know, Zach DeCoot sent some stuff through Discord, so, yeah, I'm excited. What was I gonna say? I think, let's see how many I have. I've got Sonic Drift sent me some, and I'm gonna make sure not to expose your guys' emails or anything. That's part of the reason why I wanted to have you guys email it to me, is first off because I know a lot of you have like your YouTube emails, so I figured most of them would be fine. I know that some people sent with their personal emails, which either way would have been fine. I'm gonna download them onto my computer and then just show them on Clip Studio, so there shouldn't be any problems with that. Can you criticize my art? Yeah, if you want to send it to my email, which is lilybius03@gmail.com. No Google Drive links. Just because you can already send a lot through the email, but I wanted to make sure that we would be able to go over at least everybody's once. You gonna get the new Elden Ring game? I think we'll probably end up getting it, because I know Jack and Luke play Elden Ring, I think, or Luke does. One of them do. And because it's a multiplayer game, so I'd want to play it multiplayer, so I think I'll probably force Nolan to get it, no matter what, so we can play it. But it'll be a while before we'll be able to purchase any new video games, honestly. Hello, Zach DeCoot. I'm ready, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! So how's your week been? My week's been good. I've been doing a lot of working. My job right now, there's not very many people there, so I've been working a lot, which is fine. We need the money. So yeah, I know. That's why I was worried that I would end up being scheduled today, because I wasn't gonna take time off for this, because I like to not use a lot of my time off. I'm gonna start downloading this while I do that. Let's see. Why am I doing it like this? Oh. I was like, who's mentioning me? Okay. Okay. Why do I have this open on here? My day started like shit and then turned good. I mean, I'm glad it's doing better. I've been living my best big-bagged, no socializing life because summer for me just started. I love that for you. Okay, we're gonna start with Petasonic, actually. I'm gonna start with your original email. And then we will, because I know you sent some more. Oh wait, actually, let me do your resubmission. I forgot that that's what happened. My folio showing the live in my server. That's okay. Let's see. I know you said that. Okay. Let me see here. Let me get this figured out. I'm gonna turn into Nolan being like troubleshooting all stream, even though I don't think. Oh, okay. Can I not just save it? Can you just let me save this? Not to my Google account, but rather to my freaking computer? Okay, so there's that. And now can I... Okay, and then let's... Oh, okay. Okay, I think we did it. Okay, and then how do I resize it? Okay, I think we got it. Okay, I think I did it. Let me switch over. Oh my god, having 3 screens is crazy. I don't know where to look. Everything is everywhere. Ooh, look at that. Success! Okay, so we've got this one. My heart is pounding and my inner voice is resounding, to quote Mariah Carey. Okay, let's get started. So in case anybody wasn't here for my last art critique stream, we are being constructive, not mean, and if anybody would like to pitch in with any art critique, you're more than welcome to. Just keep it respectful. Art critique is something that not a lot of people have an experience with, and when they hear it, they think it's just being mean, but it's not that. It's constructive. If it's not constructive, then we don't say it at all. That's about it. So that's how we're gonna run things around here. So right off the bat, I love this composition. I like that you can tell, like, there is some perspective going on here, which I know was something that you had a hard time with last time. Let's see. I love the labels. I can, like, picture this as, like, a comic book cover. We're Brobius fans. We know how mean critics are. That's why I think I said this last time. I don't agree with the way that Nolan does his critiques, but that's just how he does it, and it works for him, so that's fine. I feel like art critique, I mean, I guess videos are something very personal, but I feel like art critiques are always, like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same thing. I just feel like whenever I would get my art critiqued, because in case anybody doesn't know, I went to college for art. I went to many painting classes, many art classes, studio classes that involved critiques at the end of every project. And you sit there for 3 hours and you listen to people talk about your art and talking about other people's art and all these different things. And it's quite scary, not only to have people say things about your art, but also, like, finding things to say about people's art and knowing how to say it in a way that is constructive, even though, I don't know, it's like a whole thing. But I loved art critique. Like, that's something, like, in the moment I hated because I didn't want to be there because it was school. But, like, looking back on it, like, that's what I miss the most about taking art studio classes, is that community. Because once you kind of get over that initial scaredness, you feel way more comfortable going to people for help with your art and not being afraid to try new things, because you know that everybody else is trying new things and everybody else is learning with you. So I just want you guys to be encouraged the same way that I was when I went to school. But yeah. So I wanted to spread this joy. And last time I did an art critique stream, I think it was 5 hours long, and I loved it. It was so fun. It didn't feel like 5 hours. And I've been wanting to do it again, but it just took a lot out of me. Anyways, back to the critique. Let's look at this a little more closely. Is that why that's why your name is Studio Lily? Partially, yeah. I mean, I kind of treat my YouTube channel as like a little mini art studio in a way, like kind of to do things that I want to do. I'm definitely no artist, so that's why I intentionally submitted bad pieces. Maybe next time I'll actually try it. That would be fun. Also, I think bad pieces, in my opinion, if you are making a bad piece, you're still putting some sort of effort into that to make it bad, and it kind of shows what you already know in a way, and I think those are good to critique as well. Obviously, it's good to know that you went into it intentionally making it bad, but yeah, intention is a huge part of art critique. It's super sketchy because this was just this week. I plan to refine it more. Okay, that was going to be the first thing I was going to say, is just like making these lines harsher, like doing more outlining, especially on the lettering. I feel but like you said, if you're going to go back, that's perfect. Let's see. All of these poses are looking good. I can see this is the table here. Again, this composition is really good. And also, I can already tell just by looking at this that the way that you draw faces has vastly improved. Like this angle, her angle right there, is such an improvement of last time that we saw your art. Overall, I think your facial anatomy has gotten way better. And you have a very clear sense of style throughout. I feel like there's not a lot of what people call like same face syndrome. I think I see it a little bit like with these two characters. Like I think that's mostly just because they're doing the same smile, but a lot of people have this struggle where they get stuck drawing the same face over and over and over again. But I can see like a lot of clear differences in facial features, which is something that is really good. And I think your sense of anatomy has gotten way better. Drawing people sitting down and standing up next to each other can always be tough. It can kind of be hard to get that scale for things, but I think you've got it down. Obviously, like this guy right here, you can tell if he was standing, he'd probably be like right here. He'd be taller than her, which makes sense. And this guy is hunching over to get in the picture. I think it's very clear that he's doing that. Yeah, I think like just refining it more, going in and making your values darker, probably adding some color at some point. I imagine you'll do. I know you do color some of your stuff. But yeah, this is really good. And I think the composition is nice. I like that the words are spread out like this. I'd say like just like making it more straight up here. Unless like the kind of tilted look is what you're going for, then that's fine too. Like I said, intention is a huge part of everything. I guess the only thing I would say is like the values, and then like going and making things darker. And then it's because I didn't use a ruler. That's fair. And then I don't know, I feel like something with this space up here, I feel like it doesn't absolutely need anything, but I feel like if you can think of something that could fill that space, that might be good. Because it's well, I don't know, because if this is that's kind of the line of sight, I feel like you kind of go boom, 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 boom. So you got two triangles going on, which triangles are good in art. We love triangles. Read last comment. Can I send some of my plushie renders? I don't think it's really art, but I did use Procreate and some Flip-a-Clip. I'm gonna say no, and not because I don't want to, but because I don't really know how plushie renders work. That would be more of a Nolan critique thing. Yeah, that's like the reason why I don't critique your guys' videos, or like I don't really react to your videos, because I don't really know about any of that. Hello, All-Star. But yeah, that would be more of like a Nolan thing to look at. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say for this one. Oh my gosh, let me get another one pulled up. Okay, ooh. I see her already. Plush renders are photoshopped images of Sonic plushies edited to made to look like they're striking poses. I think I knew. I think you confirmed that I do know what they are, but I don't think I have the correct knowledge to properly critique. Ooh, hey girl. I said 3 portraits of her. I expect nothing less. Let me get her sized. Okay. Also, how is like the audio and everything? Is it all working according to plan? Do you want the reference? Sure. We love references. I think right away, audio is great. Okay. Imagine someone drew Lily. I do self-portraits all the time. Nolan draws me occasionally, not like anything crazy. Sometimes he'll just draw like a little doodle of me. The music is subtle in the back, but it's nice. Okay, that's what I wanted. Let me drink some coffee. Hold on. Okay. I drew you that one time. Oh, that's right. I remember. Okay. She's looking great. This angle, gorgeous. I can tell, like, this is where her neck goes, and this is where it is. Like, you can see the anatomy, because her heads are weird. Has he ever drawn you as a Sonic character? Yes, multiple times. Because we can't figure out what I would be as a Sonic character, and every time he draws me as a Sonic character, I end up looking like this. It doesn't matter what animal it is. I end up looking like a grandma. Which, like, yeah, that is, like, kind of what I look like. But I don't know. Anyways, back to the critique. She's looking great. It looks like from a Goofy movie. Again, the facial anatomy is looking amazing. And the hair is nice and flowy. I like that it's in chunks. Wait, where do we see it? Oh, I erased it. Here, I'll put it back. I look like this. Oh God. That's what I look like. That looks like Fly Guy. Guys, I haven't even thought about Fly Guy in forever. Anyways, I think the one thing with this, I do love that you didn't draw her teeth. I think that adds to it. I feel like drawing the individual teeth is something that even I don't do, because, like, if you just draw all of the teeth, it ends up looking scary. So it's definitely for the best that it's just one white clump. Fly Guy Lily, that's me. Wait here. Fly Guy. I finally found the reference. Okay. Go ahead and DM it to me, and I can take a look. I probably won't show the reference on stream, but I will look at it. I think the one thing is just this area. I feel like this could be a lot darker. Because I know that this is probably really dark in the reference. We'll have to see, though. Is that a thumbs up or a middle finger? It's up to interpretation. No, Speedy, we just got started. We're starting with PETA Sonic. So you've not missed yours, so no worries. But yeah, I feel like you have a really good sense of the eyes in the eye sockets, because one thing that I like to do... Did I send anything in this time? Yes, I did. Yes, you did. Yes, I got it. Yes, you did. I sent my email. Perfect. Oh, what I was saying. Oh, hello, Mariah. I see her. Okay, so this is a tube top. I like that. Okay, so the one thing I will say about this is kind of the same thing as last time. Don't be afraid to really push those dark values in there. So, like, let me change this to this color. So, if I have a pencil and I'm coloring this in really dark right here and kind of blending it out will help differentiate this layer of hair from this layer of hair. Yeah, Peta's art is awesome. And then same thing, like, because she's kind of got the grown out roots in this. I feel like this is another one of the darker parts, and I feel like that helps go with the movement of her hair. And I just feel like it is scary going really dark with your art a lot of the time, because that's something that it seems like, you know, it's very difficult to undo. But even just by making those areas darker, do you see like how more, not like 3D, but just like more depth she has just from making different areas a little bit darker. It was kind of hard to notice the shading because it was a low quality frame from a music video. That's fair. That's very fair. I think that if you ever feel like your drawings are missing something, or like they seem a little flat, definitely make your darks darker and make your lights lighter. So something that I have that I love, but if you primarily draw on pencil and paper, they do make white charcoal pencils. But something I use, let me grab my little thing. Something I love using whenever I do physical art is I have my white gel pen. This one's my favorite one. It's a Uniball Signo Broad, and I think it's like $3 at Michael's. And you go in, and if you're not planning on adding color, obviously you'd be working in black and white. And let's say you wanted to add some highlights to her. So let's see, her highest points are obviously her teeth, and you don't even have to add very much. Obviously on pencil and paper you'd be able to like blend this out. And then obviously her hair, you might just add like a few highlights. I'm looking at the reference picture to know where these highlights are. If you don't know where to emphasize the highlights, a trick I like to do is I don't look at the reference, and then I quickly look at the reference, and then I quickly look away, and you will notice the highlights very quickly just by glancing at it. So like her hair, I would say, is probably the most highlighted part. So probably something like that. And then you can go in and do some blending, like she's got some on her chest, and I feel like on her cheekbones, and like right here on her face. Obviously you'd go in and blend that out and make it a little softer, but yeah. And then that just kind of adds more dimension, because she has that 90s music video overexposure. Hell yeah. But yeah. And then I think sometimes, I think she looks good without it, but sometimes you just gotta add the little smile lines. I don't think I put those in the right spot, but you get the gist. And then her nose and her nostril. Again, I feel like a lot of it is just mostly about the values, which is something that like everybody struggles with. I've always been told about dark darks and light lights, but never this deep into it. I think that is honestly something that like a lot of people say, like make your darks darker and your lights lighter, but they don't really explain why and how, because it's something that they just know, and it's kind of difficult to get that across. But once you like kind of understand what that means, it's a lot easier to practice that in your art and to make it look good. Because sometimes people forget that not everybody's gonna know what these terms mean, which is like fine. It's okay that you don't know it. That's why we learn. But yeah, and then of course like her tube top I would say is a little darker. But most guys can't draw girls to save their life. Yeah, drawing girls is difficult. I honestly, when I started out, I wasn't really drawing a lot of women because I started drawing because I was in the fandom spaces, so I was drawing a lot of male characters because most shows that I was watching was like mostly male. And whenever I did draw a woman, it was a very masculine woman. And it takes a while to be able to draw both at the same time, because then I went through a phase where I was only drawing women, and then I would go back to only drawing men, and then it went back and forth, and it's kind of hard to figure out the subtle differences between the features. And part of that is just using references and practice. Yeah. Okay, let's go to another picture. Let's see. Okay, we'll just go down the list. Down the list. Hello? There it goes. Last time I drew a girl. Oh, here, hold on. Hold on, you folks. Okay, sorry, there was a cat food delivery. Let's see. There's an animatic too. Yes, I'm excited to see the animatic. The Legend of Zelda music is in the back as a vibe. Good. That's what I was hoping. Let's get this one. Ooh, this is like a comic. I'm excited for that. Okay. There's a lot of guys because I've been learning to draw attractive guys because I can't look like them. That's fair. I sent you all my stuff. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I did. I did indeed get all of these. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. This one is based off a comic panel that I just wrote song lyrics because they fit the moment. That's fair. Absolutely chiseled chin. I think that looks good. Sometimes the chin's gotta be chiseled. Sometimes it's gotta be chiseled. Oh, freak. Hold on. I did a oopsie. Hold on. Oopsie. I forgot to hit OK and then I hit no. Okay, and then I want to go back to my pen and I want my red pen. Thank you for my red pen. Okay. Bro's got the Nolan chin. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. So we know that these are song lyrics. What drawing site is this? This is a program called Clip Studio Paint. You have to pay for it. And it's a drawing program. At least I think you pay for it. I think I'm using Nolan's right now. I think. I don't know. Look into it. It's Clip Studio Paint. Yeah. So I like this composition. I like that they're both slightly over the lines of their borders. Oh my god. Let me do this as well. I like using Photoshop / MS Paint to draw, so I might make the switch. Yeah, I think if you've already got an art program that you like, then whatever works for you. I just didn't want to pay for Photoshop, so that's why I did that. I feel like right off the bat, the first thing that I'm noticing is just this hair right here. I feel like it would be a little bit more accurate if she's twirling it. She's got her little hair, and I think these pieces would flow more this way. Okay, that doesn't help illustrate my point. Because if they're falling out of this piece of hair, then they'd probably fall with that curve. Of course, the lyrics are Mariah Carey lyrics, because I always stay on brand. Naturally. But yeah, I think they would probably curve more this way. And then the glasses, I think. Well, actually, glasses are difficult, I will say. Because now that I draw over that, I feel like that makes sense. Glasses are hard. I still have a hard time with glasses. I will say it is, as a person who wears glasses, it is kind of rare for my hair ever to be on top of my glasses like this. I added the glasses, no reference, just vibes. That's so fair. I feel like, because there's always the nose ridge, so they may look more like this with the hair going over the stems. Is that what they're called? The legs? I've worn glasses all my life and I couldn't tell you what those are called. I think your name should be Mariah Sonic. I agree. I think that ear looks good. The mouth, I think side profile mouths are very difficult to not handle, but like understand. I think you did a good job. Yeah, I like your nose, and then you've got your lips. And then this part that goes down, if they're looking sideways, it's gonna be more like right here. But then other than that, like the positioning of your mouth is still good. It's just that cupid part of the lip. It's a very stylized mouth. I haven't drawn one like that since. I think it looks good. It's literally just the cupid's bow would just need to be a little bit closer to the front. Yeah, everything else about this looks good. Obviously, hands. This is pretty good for a hand, actually. I like it. You can tell where all the fingers are. There's 5 of them. You can tell this one goes back and bends, this one goes like that, and that one goes like that. It's pretty good. I like that. And then I feel like everybody can always improve on hands. Like, no matter what. And then let's go up and look at this man. I think, again, hair. I feel like, I know that this is like your style, is the chunky hair. But I feel like sometimes it can look like it's coming out of nowhere. So I think even just something like a simple line like this, still leaving this as hair, but a simple line like that can help with portraying the motion of the hair coming out of the head, if that makes sense. Other than that, this anatomy looks good. Again, this hand looks good. I think the thumb is a little off. I think the thumb would probably be a bit more like that. Because like if we're, well, yeah. Yeah. And we love the chiseled chin. Here, let's make him a Chad. Gorgeous man. I give a man lips for the first time in my life. Let me look. I just covered it with Chad lips, but I think that's good. I feel like sometimes with lips, less is more. Doing, like, let's say this is a mouth. Doing just something like that, good. Especially for men, who usually don't have very pronounced lips. Doing something like that and then like a simple thing like you've got there just to show the emphasis of the top is perfect. I think sometimes that's all you need. And then you've even got like the slight shading in the middle, and that's good to show that depth in there as well, which I think you've done great. And he's got good expression. They both have really good expression. Yeah. I think this is a headband he's got on. I feel like the hair would probably protrude a little bit more from the top there, or may even stick out a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? They're longing because that's all I know about romance. That's fair. That's very fair. It's always good to draw based off what you know. I'd say the only thing with him is I feel like you would be able to see his shoulder right here. I feel like we're missing his shoulder. Shoulders are weird. Shoulders are quite weird. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. I do really like this subtle shading underneath. It kind of gives them a good separation from their background. The handwriting doesn't match the art at all. That's okay. That's totally fine. It's just your handwriting. Her clothes have depth. I feel like his shirt could have a little more depth. Shirt collars are usually kind of thick. And then something with men, at least when I would draw men a lot, they have a lot of like neck muscles going on. So even something as simple as like that, like a little, especially since he's got such a chiseled jaw, he might have like little going on, like a little but overall I think this is good. Her jaw is definitely very feminine. It's not as strong. Let me give him his Chad lips back. And now he's looking like handsome Squidward. I'm just drawing over your drawing to make handsome Squidward now. But yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say about this. I love the composition. It's very easy, like you read it. Obviously you don't read it first. You just kind of go, which is what we like. We like a good, in art, it is very good to have a, or like a triangles and zigzags are great when it comes to art. It's always good to be conscious of where your eye moves in a piece, because that can tell you a lot about the composition, how pleasing it looks, and if you're taking advantage of both your negative space and your positive space. Because negative space, which if you don't know is the parts like this all right here, would be considered negative space. Oh, hello Mariah. Using that to your advantage, because you don't have to fill in every single part of a page unless that's like what you're going for. Again, intention kind of overrides all critique, honestly. But knowing when and where to use that negative space, not positive space. Is that what the space that your figures fill is called? Yes. I don't know if it's actually called positive space, but that's what I imagine is called. Because the opposite of negative space would be positive space. Yeah, that's just when I talk about positive space, that's going to be talking about all the stuff that your figures take up, and including these words. And even in a piece like this, if we look at this whole thing as its own canvas, even where these boxes are is a use of positive and negative space. Like if we got rid of the words and that was just empty, this would still be a great composition, because you're going, oh, and then your eye goes back up. Do you see that triangle? You go to him, you go to her, you look at her hand, and then it points you back up. It's a very strong composition. Let me... yeah, it's a very strong composition. Yeah, and then popping out of the frame, also, like, if you look at each individual square as well... Here, let me add a new layer. Like, if you just look at her on her own, you kind of go, oh, another triangle. And if you look at him, you kind of go, okay. That bit in the corner without anything is signature space, but I never signed it. Oh. I mean, hey, I don't sign all my stuff. If that's for you, cool. I think a signature space is always good. It's usually in the corner. It doesn't have to be. Some people put it like you could even put it like on her shoulder or like on his shoulder, just somewhere tucked away. But yeah, I think this composition, you've got these triangles, you've got this triangle. It's just overall very strong composition. And you don't, when you're putting together a composition for an art piece, you kind of do things without even really thinking about it. Like, I'm sure you didn't say, oh, I'm gonna make this into a triangle and I'm gonna make them pop out because it's gonna improve my composition. No, you just kind of do what's visually appealing, and typically that always goes back to a good triangle composition, like eye line, I guess you could call it. But yeah, let's I'm gonna take a break from your stuff, Petasonic, if that's all right. We're gonna move on to let's do All Stars really quick. Looks like he's got 5 things. We'll go through and do. We're gonna probably jump around a little bit. I'll probably do 3 of each to start, and we'll go from there. Alt art. Okay. Let's see. I want to do, because I want to for sure do your paper drawings. How many entries do you have? Let's see. I've got one from Speedy. I've got one from, who is this? Sonic Drift. I've got one from Petasonic, All-Star, Mikey, Blue Dude, Team Picoyo and Friends, Zacticoot. So I've got 8, somewhere around there. Why can't you guys type my name? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's close all these. Okay. Copy, paste. Okay, I'll fart. Sorry. I mean All-Star. That's not what I wanted. Hello? Copy. What is happening? What is going on? Copy this picture. Copy this picture and put it in here. What is going on? What's going on? Bing, bing. Okay. Let's try this. Let's freaking try this for a second. Bing, bing, bing. Hopefully you guys can't see my freaking images. Why does it look like that? What is going? Oh, it's because it's huge. It's so freaking huge. Okay. Okay. We finally got it freaking figured out. We finally got it figured out. I feel bad for constantly sending Lily emails about my human art updates. That's okay. I don't care. It's my Lily Bees email. I don't get notifications for that. I have to check it manually on my computer. Okay, let's look at this freaking artwork. I know, All-Star, you typically draw on paper. Is that a good assumption? I know you sent me a lot of digital artwork, but I feel like I usually see stuff of yours on physical paper. So I wanted to look at these because I know that this is what like you're strongest with. And we will also look at your digital art. Yeah, mostly paper. Okay. Right off the bat, I think this looks great. This looks awesome. About 70-30. He forgot the buckle on the left shoe. Oh, somebody forgot a buckle. Oh, oops. That's not what I wanted. I want a pen. Uh-oh, somebody forgot a buckle. All Stars Sonic drawings are genuinely so amazing. I agree. I agree with that. His foot do look real long though. Is that how long his feet are? I don't usually look at Sonic's feet. The scrunched up poses are so great. They are. Yeah, this looks very clean. He's got a little tooth coming out his foot. These are what we call, well, I don't know if this is technically a tangent line. I went back and fixed it after I took the pictures. Okay. They're long in most Sonic Adventure era art. Okay. It gets a little bit different to identify a tangent line when you're using a reference like this. I would almost, well, I don't know if I would consider this a tangent line. A tangent line is typically when you have, how do I describe it? I would say, well, I don't know how to describe it. Let me look up a good example. It's the way how the foot looks at the angle. It's typically not that long / flat, but I think it's nice. Adventure era, they're long. It just looks inconsistent on this piece because the other foot looks normal. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I do think that looks good though. It's got a good sense of like movement. Like it kind of looks like he's moving it. He's about to move it down. Let me look up a good example of a tangent line. Oh, no, not in math. We want in art. We don't like math. Yeah, so I think okay, yeah, I think that this would be a good example of a tangent line. It's usually just when lines intersect and it's a little bit difficult to tell where they go. There are definitely some problems with this. The buckle, the leg, and the foot in the front look slightly smaller than the leg behind it, which breaks the perspective. Yeah, I think that is part of it. I think if this was like just a little smaller, maybe still the same length, but like that, and then make this a little thicker. This right here would technically also be a tangent line, but I don't think it's as bad as this line, this little line right there. I feel like it's a little bit difficult to tell if it's part of the hand or if it's part of the shoe. Something that can help with that, obviously this isn't a quite shaded piece, but I feel like it's not that big a deal. Shading could help that, coloring could help that, just yeah. I was definitely scared to give Sonic that booty. Yeah, he's got that booty. He needs a little booty. Again, like with this, I know what that is because I know Sonic the Hedgehog, but it does kind of look like it's part of this somehow. Again, I feel like coloring or shading, if it's, because I still don't think it's that big of an issue, but no, he's very dynamic. He's definitely in motion. His expression is really good. I feel like this ear should probably be as dark as the outline of that one. It's from getting too many skit marks on his butt. Skit marks. But yeah, other than that, I think this is a really strong piece. You've got a lot of directional lines. You can tell he's on the move. His ear could be lifted up a little. Yeah, or even if it's like that much of a bother, because it does, his ear is in the right position when you look at it like this. It makes sense for his ear to be right there. You could just slightly move down the eyebrow and let his ear have that space. Yeah. Yeah, I really like this though. Let's go. Move on to All Stars next piece. Let's do a digital one. I want to do Mario. We're gonna look at Mario. All Star, I'm curious how much experience you have with digital art. Can we do my Speedy piece next? Yes. We'll do Zacticoot next. We'll do 2 more of All Stars, and then we will go to the Zacticoot. Mario! Hi, Mario! Hey, Mario. Here is Mario, and he is jumping so high. His name is Mario. Mario. It's freaking Mario, and it's freaking Mario, and it is Mario time right now. Okay. Oh, you know what? He will join us. He will join. He's here too. Oh my god, okay. So, I think right off the bat, the first thing I notice is just his eyes, honestly. I feel like... Oh, yeah. Okay, I feel like his eye should probably be more like right here. Or maybe it's like the angle of the eye. I think it could stay like that. I think it just needs to be a little wider. Bro is thick. Guys, Mario is just like, that's how he looks. Like, look at him over here. Look at Mario down here. I love the cell shading. We love cell shading. Cell shading is so easy once you know how to do it. I feel like his eye... Let me see. His, All-Star. This is not appropriate. This is not. This? On a kid's character. Oh my gosh. Wait, is the music like, is the music fucked up? No, the music's fine. Okay. Yeah, this looks really good. I think kind of the same issue, honestly. This foot and leg I think could just be a little smaller. Here, let's try, where's the select tool? Let's see. Bro said, wow! I mean, I showed 2 dicks and you didn't say anything. What? I think that. Well, I don't know if like right there, but like right there. And then I think honestly, okay, no more of that. Okay, I think he needs like a knee. I think he needs a slight knee. Because then if we like use this color, we go bing bing. And then if we like kind of use this shading like that, well, if that was the case, I think it would need to be like right here. And move the leg over a little more this way. Yeah, I feel like that's my only critique on this. I think the colors are strong. The cell shading is very strong. I think it's just like a slight perspective thing, and perspective it sucks. Not yours. Yours doesn't suck. Just perspective in general sucks. Yeah. Okay. Let's Mario. Hi Nolan. I feel like Lily's gonna hate/judge my take on anatomy now. What is your take on anatomy? Oh my god. Sorry, I just saw freaking toked out Toad. Okay, let's do Adam the Atom though. That's his name, right? Adam the Atom, yes. Hello, Adam the Atom. Bing, bing. Full name on there. Sorry if you don't want that on there. Here, just in case. Well, I feel like you wouldn't have submitted it if you weren't fine with it. This is Adam the Atom. Okay, we cool. This is him. I love this design. I love that it's a rubber hose man. I like his funky little socks. And his little hairs are so fun. I feel like he would just look better in color. Like, I honestly think that's all that this is missing. Obviously it's a good drawing. I'm not saying like it needs to be colored, but I would love to see this in color. I'd love to see like I'd love to see these little bits in color. I also, honestly, because I know that this is an original character, so you don't have to take any of this to heart because it's your OC. It might be cool if these were bigger. I don't know. Oh my god, guys. Wait, let me look at these other illustrations. There's no dick. There's no dick here. There's none of that. You're totally right. Okay. Just so that they stand out more, because I think that's a very unique part of his design is the atom part around his head. And I think if you make it a little bigger, it'll also let his little hairs, his little lumps, his lady lumps, stand out more. Me last. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think this would look really good colored. I don't know what this is. Is this his feener? Is this his little feener? 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 Yeah, this is great. I love this character design. He's very cute. I think it would also, I don't know if this is just my personal preference, but it totally is just my personal preference, but I think he should have little hoodie strings with little atom molecules at the bottom. But that might just be me overthinking it. Or if no hoodie strings, maybe just like a planet or something. The Brobius planet. Or here, a Pokeball. I don't know. I think it's a very strong character design overall. So, yeah. Nolan, did you submit a piece? He did not submit a piece, actually. Here, let's get Zach DeCoot's submissions in here. Okay, so we'll do this one first. Like I said, we're gonna go back and we're gonna do 3 of each first, and then we will go back and do the extras. So, I'm noticing something already. That this is a portrait of some kind. So it's actually really good. So you I like that he has a little heart nose. Oh, here, let me get this in place. It kind of looks like he's got a little heart nose. Zach, draw maid dress Speedy. I don't know if we want to do that. I don't know if we want to do that. This is actually really good, Zach. The stylized mouth with the eyes. That's like a consistent like design. I feel like the only thing is just adding some more depth. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I feel like though, actually, genuinely, when you use lined paper, there's a reason why when you feel like you doodle at school and you doodle on lined paper, you feel like it's a better drawing. It's because it kind of acts like a sort of grid, and it helps you with a lot of these proportions. Like, notice how both eyes have the same amount of lined paper in them. I think I did say that last stream. Like, it helps. It really does help. And you even have like a sense of like roundness with the face. Like, it kind of wraps around rather than just being flat. I was drawing this during my psychology class. Perfect. One thing that I do, if we'll notice, these are not my art supplies, but I have a lot in here because I have a lot of office supplies that use color. Like these highlighters, like, yeah, I use them for my planners, but oh my gosh, I think it's, if you doodle a lot, it is a really good investment to get a set of highlighters that have a lot of colors. The ones that I use are the Zebra mild liners, and they have this and a fine tip end. If you doodle and you want to add color, because not only can you use these for school, they're really good. Oh, I still have Mario up. He's gonna stay. Mario's gonna stay there. Let me show you some of my stuff that I use. I can't show. I did a portrait of Nolan and it turned out too good, so I can't show you guys that. But like with this picture, this was just colored with those markers. Same with these ones. Like, it's kind of good for just adding quick bits of color in your drawings. And then this one I was using a reference for. This isn't an original idea by me. I was just doodling something I saw on Pinterest. But using, like, even they have like a gray to add shading. It can be very helpful for that. And also, they're just good for school as well, I feel like. Let me see if I can find an example. I love these highlighters. They're honestly my favorite. Like here, these, making sure there's no personal information on here. This was something I used for school. Like, I used those same highlighters for that. It can be very helpful just having them. If you like doodling, like, Lord knows I have so many college and high school notebooks, because I've had these highlighters for a while, with little color doodled drawings in there, because it's just what I like to do. I've never been a person to learn shading. I've only ever taken art class in high school, and I would say I did decent. Again, I'm no artist. I mean, that's fair. You don't have to be an artist. Also, here, I'll start writing who made it at the top. That way we know if anybody jumps in. I would actually like advice on using coloring pencils, because you'll notice the color is totally faded. I think the biggest thing with colored pencils is depending on the colored pencils you get, they don't like to mix with regular pencil. I think you'll notice a lot of this blending on here. It kind of smudges it around a little bit. It does just kind of take some practice. I used Crayola. I mean, we do love Crayola. I use Crayola colored. I kind of stepped away from using colored pencils, honestly. I used to like exclusively use colored pencils, but I just don't as much anymore. I don't know why. They're just not my personal preference, which is fine. But they are very difficult to get the hang of, honestly. it's kind of just about being consistent with the pressure that you're using along the whole thing. Like you can kind of see you're using different pressure here than over here. It was from my old elementary color box. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it just honestly takes practice. But let's look at your other ones. Let me get those pulled up. We're gonna save the best for last. Oh my god. This is crazy. So this is a crazy drawing for me. This is kind of scary, honestly. This is actually like really scary for me, guys. I'm scared. Lily, I think about becoming an alcohol marker hoe again because my mother offered to buy me a set for doing good on my finals. Do you think I should bite the bullet? Absolutely. Alcohol markers are something that is definitely worth honing your skills in, because you can use them for so many different things. Okay, so we've got Pac-Man eating me. This is crazy, guys. This is a really good strawberry. This looks really good. And you even got the fact that like I have yellow seeds. I think my biggest critique is girl, this is what Nolan's handwriting looks like. And I think this is what every single boy handwriting looks like for the most part. Like, why is it always the same? My handwriting is terrible. No, but like, honestly, Mariah, honestly, like every single boy has the same handwriting, I feel like, for the most part. That's not always the case, but a lot of the time I feel like this is what every single boy's handwriting looks like. Which is fine. It's just weird that it's always the same. Here for the Mariah. I keep accidentally clicking on her, on all of them, which I want to keep them up because I like keeping them up. Hey, I am a man! But yeah, I think Pac-Man looks good. He looks pretty good. I think his little teeth up here could be sharper. But that looks good. And like even like the strawberries looking good. You've got like the little things on there and it looks very strawberry shaped. We love that. Let's go on to the piece de resistance, which I know you used a reference for. Let me get this pulled up. Okay, I pull up to the after party. Okay. Those that know. Those that don't know will learn. Yes. Let me write the credit. This actually looks exactly like the one that I did. So if you don't know, I drew this picture, not this one, but I drew, this is Cyborg Nolan. I drew this a few streams ago when Nolan and I did a drawing stream, and Yeah, this looks good. This looks really good, actually. I can tell the colored pencils were used again. The muscles, exquisite. And you even have the cyborg arm, and the scarring looks great. This is a masterpiece. I give it 100 out of 10. This is the best one I've seen so far. This is like beyond anything I've ever seen before. The only thing you're missing is little nipples. Nobody clipped that. While we're on the topic of handwriting, in psychology I've learned females have better fine motor as opposed to the boys. Fine being good muscle control in the finger, so there's your psychology fun fact. I actually have told Nolan multiple times that he needs to work on his fine motor skills. My mom does occupational therapy, so like I've always kind of known what fine motor skills are, and I've always had really good fine motor skills because of that. I told you about that on the stream, that he was missing nipples. Did I never draw those on? Uh-oh. But yeah, I've told, I believe that. That makes a lot of sense to me. I was cooking and I needed Nolan's help spooning liquid out of what I was making with a ladle, and I was shocked at his fine motor skills with that. Yeah, this is beautiful. Excuse me, I get so emotional. Let's move on. Thank you so much, Zach DeCoot, for your submissions. I want to look at somebody who's here. We'll go to, let's see, Team Picoyo. Oh, Team Picoyo just submitted one thing. Let's do his. Here, we'll do this. Okay, I pull up to the after party. Thank you for having me. Okay. I'll actually try next time. Good. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's so cute. Oh, and, okay, I'm noticing lots of things. Okay, so this is, here, I'll write the, we'll write that at the top. Yeah, thick outline, very cool. I love this style. I like the little black eyes. I think those are very cute. The pose is strong. We like this. And I like that it's a little Mario Odyssey hat. That is very adorable. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, yeah, I think the hands are a little bit inconsistent. They're kind of missing that thick style. And then I feel like I do like the hair, but I think we need something to distinguish the hair from the eyes a little bit better. Whether that's like, I don't know, but like something, like some highlights somewhere, like here, if you just went like this, if you outlined them in white, well, I don't know, that looks a little strange. Or if you just like, I don't know, just something to think about. Kind of depends on what you want your style to be. I tried to do a Sonic character, but with the old FNF character I made before. It was literally supposed to be an FNF character, but I decided to add Sonic features, and I like it, but maybe I'm biased. I think it looks good. I think it looks very consistent, like overall. I see that style with the face, and then I also see the Sonic characteristics, and I think you did a good job meshing those two together. I think the colors look good. All the colors work very well together. You've got the blue of the eyes up here that goes with the blue of the shoes, so it kind of ties it together. and some nice red that sticks out and kind of complements that brown. Yeah, overall, I think this is a good piece. I think just the one thing to work on is the line work, and just making it a little bit more consistent, but I also don't think it's too distracting as for the whole piece. I don't think it's very distracting that it's super inconsistent. I can tell that this is a very stylized piece, so it's kind of a little bit more difficult to critique a stylized piece just because it goes into intention and things like that. But overall, like, I feel like the legs are pretty proportional, the arms are pretty proportional, you can tell he's in movement and in motion. Yeah, I think this is a good piece. I think it looks nice. Thank you for your submission, I appreciate it. Let's see. We'll do... I want to do people that are here first. So I think we'll do Speedy next. Speedy, you have a lot here, actually. Here, let's see. Let's do this one. Okay, this one is huge. Gotta make him tinier. Okay. Dink. Much better. I see Sonk. Do some of his human stuff because I actually really like looking at his stylized humans. I will, yeah, for sure. I see those down here. I'll do this one, and then I'll go to probably those two, and then we'll revisit his because there's a lot of Sonic drawings in here. So we'll go back and revisit those Sonic ones, but we'll do this one, and then we can go back to those ones. We want to look at the human ones. Bro said, wait, they don't love you like I love you, wait. That song, I was walking around the mall before I went to work one day, and I was in American Eagle, and that song started playing. And I actually love that song. I used to play that song on Rock Band all the time. I love Rock Band. I think I drew this on Photoshop. Cool. Here. Cool. This looks good. I really like this. I think your line consistency is good, like the thickness of your lines overall. I think it would be nice to see some variation, although I do know that just from glancing at your other pieces that you sent, I did see a lot more line variation in those, so I'm not like too worried about talking about that. The dogs are running around upstairs. They are like running. Sorry. First thing I think I noticed is these little gaps. I know why those are there. I do think, however, they either need to, like this one, I think definitely needs to be connected. And probably same with this one. But with these ones, I think they just need to be a little bit further apart, because when you have them super close like that, I don't think it portrays what we want it to portray as well as it could. So I think just like spacing those out a little bit and showing, wrong color, showing the distance between them would be a little bit more effective in getting that visual across. And again, I also think that line variation would also help out in this case, making this a little bit more of a tapered line. Oh, I did it again. Would also help with that. Are we just doing like illustrated art? Because I want to show something that ain't a drawing. PETA Sonic did send an animatic. I would be open to seeing things like animations, but if it's like a 3D model, I think we'll stay away from those for now, just because I don't think I'd be good at critiquing them. And I want to give you guys the best critiques. I don't want to give you critiques that are like coming out my ass, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm getting a phone call. I have to pay my phone bill, so I am actually gonna take a break for a second. So I will be back in a few minutes, okay? Guys, I'm here. And my phone bill is paid for. This is a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day to be an adult. I now have cell service. Okay. I do need to restart my phone though, so I do actually have cell service. How do you... No, I don't want... I'll do that later. I'll do it later. Yeah. Where the frick is Lilybeus right now? I'm back, guys, okay? I had to pay for my phone bill. Okay, anyways, back to our regularly scheduled content. Wait, you didn't have service either? What do you mean? I didn't. My phone bill was due 4 days ago, and I just now was able to pay it. So yeah, I didn't have cell service for a little bit. I haven't had service since I got here. Oh no, yours is probably just your phone being weird. Or it could be your carrier's down. Nolan, I think we have different cell carriers. Here, I'll try calling you. We'll do a little Abrobius cameo. Oh, it's not working. I'm on Verizon. You got poopy Verizon. I'm on Verizon. So we do have the same cell carrier. Anyways, let's go back to critiquing art and doing what we were here for. Now that all of my little tasks are out of the way. Bro, call Nolan for an ASMR eating moment. Get a new cell carrier? Now! Anyways, Speedy, back to your drawing. Line work, good. I do want to see more line variation though. I think that would I do like the chunky line look, but I don't know, I think this would add more movement, a more dynamic movement to your piece. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it again. Something simple. One leg it looks like a boot and the other it looks like a normal shoe. Oh, this is true. This is freaking widowy twirl. Yeah, it could be perspective, but it would help, I think, if you just moved, oh, and that is the exact same color of my marker. So let's make it pink. If you moved this down and you put like a line there, like here, look. If you move this down here, got rid of it up here. And then you did a line like that. Boom! You've got a boot. Easy. I think that's a simple fix. Because perspective-wise, this does make sense. Having this leg not look as long as this one does make sense. Zach, why'd you have to mention Panda Express? Nolan loves Panda Express. Like more than he loves me, honestly. But yeah, I think this looks good. I will say these hand lines, I think I like, because I feel like they look more like the glove, but I also I also think something like that may look a little more realistic, or just even like that, honestly. And then if you like had like a seam going down, I don't know. Sorry, I kind of got thrown off by that phone call. I wasn't expecting it in that moment, and it scared me. Because I look over and I'm getting a phone call, and I don't get phone calls. This actually helps a lot with drawing hands. Good. Yeah, when you look at your hand, even for Sonic characters have very human-like hands. When you look at your hand, you have this meaty part and this meaty part. And when you close your hand, you're going to see lines up here. And when you move your thumb in, you're going to see a line right here. So when you're doing something like this, you get a lot of shadow in the middle here. Oh my god, my camera's inverted, so sorry. And then you get these highlights. And so it would make sense for your lines to look more like that. But sometimes you don't need this top one, because sometimes it just becomes a little bit distracting. Lily, you more of a text person or a call person? Definitely a text person, but it kind of depends on who I'm talking to. Like, if I'm going to talk to my sister, I'm going to call her, because she's a millennial and she's better at talking over the phone than she is at texting. Same with, like, my parents. I'd rather call them than text them. Am I meant to be here? Sure. Everybody's welcome. Nolan, we both like Taco Bell and Panda Express. Anything else we got in common? We're both awesome. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my god, now I'm getting like... Okay, now I'm getting my text messages from my parents. I'm all over right now. Sorry, guys. Last thing I want to say. I think... Oh, what happened to my red? I think this would probably look different. If it's a mask, I think it would fully cover this part. Because if we had a mask... Well, I guess it depends on what style of mask you're going for. But it would be a little strange if we had a face mask that just covered this part of your face. You'd want one that goes like this to cover most of your face. But I mean, yeah, if that's like what you're going for. I will say it's more like it's not on it all the way. Oh, gotcha. In that case, I think what could help with this is, let's say, well, how am I going to show this? I think it might help to show it's a little bit, here, let me actually just put it on here. It might help to show that it's off a little bit more. So it might help to put it more like that and then show some of his mouth a little bit. That way it's a little bit more obvious that it's not on completely, if that makes sense. Oh, it's a reference to an anime. Okay, I didn't know that. And the actual My Hero Academia anime, hopefully that is the one that you guys are talking about. The mask actually hangs like that on the main character's costume. Okay. Oh, this is Deku. Sonic Deku. Sonic Deku. Whoa. But yeah, I think just having it physically hang off his face a little more would get that across, because the way it kind of reads right now is that it's tight right here on him, and it goes all the way around, like it's like wrapping him, if that makes sense. It looks quite tight on him. Dude, Nolan, get out of here. Get the freak out of here. But yeah, I do think biggest thing, making sure that this looks like a boot. Fixing the lines on the hands, and the gaps between these lines, I think just needs to be a little bit longer. And I think it's a very strong piece. Let's get another Speedy piece in here. Let's go to his human ones. Oh, there's a lot in here. There's a lot. Speedy sent me so many. Let's look. Let's see. You guys act like I'm gonna know which one is the JoJo one. Oh wait, I actually do. I actually can't tell which one is the JoJo one. I'm gonna do this one. This one has 2 figures in it. Sorry for singing like a little rat. Oh my god, these things are huge. Bobius. Okay. Ooh, I like these. Okay. Okay. I fixed up the issues you had with the old one. I sent it to you as well if you want to see it on stream. Absolutely. Once we're done with Speedies, we'll take a glance at that for sure. Okay. Looking at this one. Here, let me. Do you guys like how I wrote it in the lines of the of the lined paper? Not trying to be rude, but please do another one. This one has so many flaws. That's why we want to look at it, because I don't immediately see those flaws, genuinely. And I think that that's why we're here. Is because also, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, watching other people's art get critiqued and looking at their mistakes, or even like if you know you've made these mistakes, it can help another person recognize these mistakes as well, which is also just as helpful. So yeah, we're gonna look at it, and this one gives us a lot to work with. I know that I saw these two characters, these 2 little guys. I saw some more of them, and we will look at them. I'm not just gonna stick with this one. We'll do one more of yours after this, and we'll come back, and I'll pick another one. And then once we get through everybody's once, we can go back and I'll probably just go back and do whoever's here, redo theirs, but I do want to make sure that everybody gets theirs looked at. So even if they're not here right now, they can look back on stream and see their critiques. So let's take a look. I think I do like this character design. Give it a thumbs up. I'm an artist. I know how to draw thumbs up. I will say, and this is not a critique, this is just an observation from me. Totally. No, wait, what's his name? Is this Papyrus? Lily draw Donkey Kong? Bet. Hold on, let me pull up a picture. Okay, ready? Okay, let's get back to what's a papyrus? I'm not gonna tell you because if you don't know, it's for the best. But yeah, this looks good. I like this character design. This pose, he's got that nasty pose, but like in a good way. Nasty. He's looking nasty, but like in a good way. Let's see. I think his head proportion, like obviously this guy's got quite like a long head and this guy's got like a short head, but I think what throws me off a little bit is this section right here. I think it might, if you wanted him to be a little round head, you might just stick with like a full circle, or even like, let me see, like something like this, a little bit longer. Just like kind of cut off that weird ear part. So like that, and then just stick with the ear sticking out. It's okay if the ear sticks out. This is a cartoony stylized piece, so it doesn't have to connect like that. Or if you wanted the hair to go behind there, I would leave the bottom part disconnected, if that makes sense. Definitely the head shape threw me off, so recently I gave him a redesign overhaul. But for sure, I totally understand. Yeah. And then I think with his hair, oh no, not that. With his hair, I think it's not obvious that this is hair, unless, is this hair? Hair? Horn? Looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Beyblade character and Mob Psycho, and those are all like great things to draw from. Those styles are often very good. So if this is hair, let's do like a little sketch of him. So this is him, and here's his ear, and he's got the hair. He's got that hair, and we want two big pieces in the back. But we want to show that it is hair. We could go like that, and then what you could do is you could put like another piece in the front. Kind of like that. Or here, let's look at it like this. So we've got his front hairs. And honestly, I think just getting rid of that line would do wonders. Toriyama's an Arrakis art to improve my art. I don't know who they are, but let me look that up really quick. And Tori. Oh my gosh, sorry. Toriyama. Oh, okay. So, okay, I see. The Dragon Ball. Yes, I think this is good reference pieces. These are all very colorful, very illustrative. These are beautiful references to go off of. Wake up! I'm sorry. It's already 4. Damn, guys. But yeah, I think honestly just getting... Here, let's do this. If we just like get rid of this line. Or here, let me... Yeah, I think if you just get rid of this headline and then did kind of what I did here, where you have more of a movement to the hair. Not thin like that, but less straight up and more movement like that, it might help convey that that's hair. What is this? It is an art critique stream, and Mario is here too. Yeah. I think that the anatomy, the proportions are all pretty good. Your leg proportions versus your arm proportions are good. I think it's very stylized. I think I'd love to see some more detail on these shoes and some more depth. Shoes are difficult. Explain in context. What? It's an art critique stream. So people have submitted their art and I'm critiquing it. Yeah. Give him some Converse. Okay, here, hold on. Who says I can't wear my Converse with my dress? Let me get some of this. Boom. He's got shoes. Yeah. And then I want to know what's going on here with his little neck. I think in this scale we can do without a lot of that neck detail. I think it would be just as effective without it. If you're doing more like close-up or detailed things, I think you can add those smaller details. But this zoomed out, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. For this guy, we'll move on to this guy. Here, I like this design a lot. I think down here it gets a little confusing, but a lot of that is just because I don't know the context of these characters. I don't know their backstory. So I think that is just kind of an inherited issue. Sorry. But yeah, I like the design of the hands. And ooh, the mouth, looking closer. I think I like these teeth in here. I think that's very cool. However, again, kind of like with that neck detail, I think these cracked lines, I think we could use these ones, but I think these ones down here, unless we're at like a closer level, we could probably do without them. But with this one up here, I think we can use them. I think it just needs to be a little more jagged, in my opinion. Maybe not even like that. I don't have a lot of experience with yeah, maybe something like that. Just a little simpler. To still show like the decrepitness. Also, sorry if you can hear water. The pipes are in our ceiling. I fixed the bottom to become a ghost tail instead because that was one criticism I got. Yeah, I think that would probably be a better solution. Just because, yeah, like I said, it is like a little bit confusing. Like I'm sure in context for these characters it makes sense, but just on a first glance seeing these characters it is a little confusing. And I feel like even with your lines down here, it's honestly a little, I can tell that you were a little uncertain with what to do down here, like compared to all these lines that are very confident and straight and like confident. Like these lines, I could tell you know what you want in this area, and down here I feel like we lose a lot of that definitiveness with your line work. Welcome back, Zonic. Now you're watching this at a pool party and not talking to anyone. That's crazy. That's crazy, but hey, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, I think these are strong designs. I think that this is a very unique design. I think possibly the eye could be a little bit more interesting. I feel like eyes are a very important part of character design, because if you look at it right now, he's got just like a little triangle. It could be cool to see maybe the full triangle, kind of like a pupil somehow. I don't know. I think that the eye design right now is still pretty good, but just something to think about. Just some extra things to think about. Okay, let's pull up a third for Speedy. Let's see. Oh, okay, here. I want to do this one. Same two characters. There we go. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. Size it down, size it down. Okay, now we can make it bigger. Okay, this one is really good. I like this. Let's see. Okay, and then, oh, I always do that. Why do I always do that? Okay, so this one, I mean, a lot of it is going to be a very similar critique about the hair. I think it's just not super obvious that it's hair, but again, I really think that that's an easy fix. Hair has a lot of movement, even in very stylized forms. Like if you look at this Toriyama art, all of the hair here, like, yes, it's very stiff in ways and it sticks up a lot, but it still has a lot of movement. When you look at some of these other pieces, there's still a lot of movement and flowiness to it, because hair is always going to be hair. But yeah, other than that though, I won't repeat the things that I said on the last one. The shoes, we love that. I think these shoes are way more interesting than the previous shoes, even though it's like a simple design. It's still like 10 times easier. What was I trying to say? How do you send in artwork? I'm gonna say at this point, I'm unfortunately gonna stop accepting artwork, just because I want to be able to go over everybody's, and I have a lot of submissions. I will be doing more of these though. This is my second one, but I will be doing more, so if you are interested, you can subscribe, and I think next time I'll make a community post as well, for submissions. That way more people are able to submit, not just people that are in the Discord. So yeah. Okay, let's look at this a little more closely. I think right away I do like this better. I will say, I think composition wise it would be a little bit better if it went behind him, or if you did want to show how long it is, you could alternatively go down like that. Yeah, I do like this effect around it. I think that's a good way to show that it, oh, hello, sir. I think that's a good way to show that it's not a solid object, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think also I want to see this a little longer. All-Star Jump Scare. Wait, when are you doing this again? I'm not sure. It's been a few months since the first one that I did, so it would probably be a few months. These take quite a bit out of me, so I like to give it some time in between. But I'd like to start doing them more regularly. Maybe once every other month. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah, I'd like to do them more regularly. Okay. This is a bit of a tangent line. It kind of looks like it's coming from his chin. I think a way to fix that would just be to add some curvature to it. Actually, I think it would be technically curving the other way. Oh, not that much though. Since he is kind of leaning this way. Why is Mario still here? I just like Mario being here. He's just my friend now, okay? He's my friend. Yeah. Yes, I like this. The mouth still looks good. I think his expression looks good. It was a mistake I made when inking the line, so I made it look like a block. Fair enough. I do like this eye. I like that it kind of tapers out a little bit. I would like to see a little bit more expression from him. I know he's very non-expressive, but it is still possible to make somebody look a little bit more expressive. when they're not being super expressive. So for example, like you could just make his eyes a little droopier and kind of, I don't know how to describe that. But like you can exaggerate some of these features, obviously not that much. Like I know you have those like 2 little lines, and I think that does help, but maybe doing something like, if he's like kind of uninterested, making them slant down more like this one. Me drawing Speedy's OC. But yeah, I think overall this one's good. I like the composition of it. I think it's very like Go Team kind of vibes. Again, kind of like Petasonics. It is giving like comic book cover, graphic novel. I'm loving it. He got a name? What his name? Altima. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's Nissan Altima. That's his alter ego, is my version. But yeah, I do like this. I think, again, the poses are good. The poses are strong. Anatomy makes sense proportionally. I think it's just this guy's, his little tail seems a little small compared to the rest of his body. But yeah, I think it's a very strong character design overall. So, yeah. Let's take a look at Pocoyo's updated version. Let's see. Oh, cool. Okay. Nice. I wish I could just like I'm losing my train of thought. I wish I could just drag it over and it'd be very easy. Okay. I do like that you just made the changes on top. I think that's great. I think... Oh, I do it every single time. The difference in the hands, obviously there's going to be a bit of a difference with the resolution because I'm pretty sure you just did a new layer on top, which is fine. That's totally fine. I do think that the eyes, it's easier to tell where the eyes are now. Hello, Frank Ocean. I've missed you. And I do honestly think that the thicker lines with the hands does kind of bring it together overall. I think it's a good improvement. I like it. I like it very much. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Let's see. We'll do Blue Dude next. I know he said to do last, but I know that he's in here right now. So I wanted to look at those, and then I think I'll look at the people who aren't here, and then we'll go back around and look at some more. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of Sabrina. Lots of Sabrina. Okay, bye, Frank Ocean. Okay, let's look at this Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. Hey, girl. Oh my gosh. Sabrina. Nina. Do you guys know that video? Nina. Nina. Okay. Sorry if lighting is shit, that's okay. Is it just me, or does anyone like how mechanical pencils feel when drawing over pencils? I agree with this. These, let me show you the pencils I use when I draw. I use these. Always have, always will. I love these. These ones are the 0.5 millimeter. This one's a 0.7. I do usually prefer, I used to have a 0.9. I loved that one. That one was good for shading. That just is the thickness of the pencil lead. I ask you do 2 from this email and 1 from the second email. Deal. But yeah, mechanical pencils I think are just easier to work with. You don't have to sit there and sharpen them. I do occasionally love using the old-fashioned wood pencil, but I always go to a mechanical pencil. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Okay. Hi, Brina. Hey, girl. This is very cute. I think it's very obvious who this is. I think, here, let me. I think it helps that Sabrina has a very recognizable image. I think that does wonders. But yeah, let me get some water. I'm also running out of water. Actually, I'm sure Nolan has some in his office. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I was lied to. Yes, okay. There's none in there. I will say the noses are very difficult. They're difficult. Let me pull up a picture of Brina right now. Because I need to look at her nose. Sabrina Carpenter, where are you? Hey, girl. Okay. Let's see. So she's got, her nose is interesting, not gonna lie. In a beautiful way. She's a very beautiful woman, of course. I think it's right here that's the problem. I think it's just a little bit too thick. She's got kind of a narrow nose. Here, let me try doing this with the colored pencil color. I think something that can help you with noses. Oh, well, actually, hold on. Because this angle is a strange angle. Let me go back to my red. Let me go back to red. Okay. Something to help think about noses is thinking about the different shapes. You've got, like, look at Mario. Look at Mario right now. Circle. Nose is a circle, for the most part. She's got kind of a narrow nose, so she's gonna have a thinner, smaller tip of her nose. And this is not how you're gonna draw a nose, but guys, that's just what a nose looks like, unfortunately. And your nose is always gonna connect into your eyebrows. It's always gonna curve up and into your brow bone, no matter what. It could be more subtle or strong in different people. Reference pic? Yes, I need this reference picture. Let me see. Okay, I see. Okay, I see now. Okay, now that I see the reference picture, I am more well informed. Let's see. I didn't see that you criticized my improved render. Thanks for having me twice. Of course. So, I think what is really going to help you, Blue Dude, with your portraits, because I know you do a lot of realism, and this kind of angle that she's at is what is like a 3/4 angle, which can be easy, can be tough, depending on who you are and your experiences and stuff. So I think you've got this jawline, her face shape, perfect. I think the face itself needs to be adjusted a little bit. It is very strong. I think it's just the nose. The nose throws everything off. It honestly does. I think when you get that face shape, you need to see what direction she's facing and you draw that center line. Because that center line, you're going to curve it. Let me actually put this in this. Oh my god. She's huge. She's freaking huge. She's absolutely enormous, but not like in like a fat way. She's just like huge. She's just ginormous. Oh, I flipped it. Oopsie. I flipped it again. Okay, we're gonna make Tiny Brina. Here's Tiny Brina. Here's our reference. So if you see, okay, yes, okay. On here, let me make another layer. So, she's huge. Okay, so you can see, like, you got this jawline, you got this side of the face, but it's just this angle. This is the angle that you want to look at, and it's really difficult to fix face proportions in different ways if you're so used to drawing them from straight on, or some people only do the 3/4 view, and so they get used to doing that 3/4 view. Other people like get used to drawing other ways. It just kind of depends on what you draw most. So if we're doing it like this, and we see here, let's zoom in on Brina. Let's zoom in on Miss Brina over here. Brina is beautiful. Beautiful Brina. She's got her center line and then her eye line. Her eye line, well, she's at a bit more of an angle. She's kind of got her head tilted a little bit. So her eye angle is going to be more like that. And then we notice the bottom of the nose is half of this gap right here. And then lips, center of the lips are going to be, it's kind of hard to see because she's at a weird angle, but typically they're going to be half of whatever this gap is. So eyeline, so if we go back to your drawing, with this guide that we see on the right, and we see it kind of goes like that, or here, more like, let me zoom out so I can see both angles. Oh wait, here, I can actually just do this. So if we put this, so it fits over this Brina. Little bigger. We see we've got that jawline, but the eyes are a little off. And that is gonna, like, with face structure, it kind of sucks because if you mess up one part, usually you go based off of, like, if you draw the mouth first, you're going to draw everything based off of the position of the mouth. If you draw the nose first, you're going to draw everything based off the position of the nose. Same thing with the eyes. Like, if you just slightly mess up one of those things, it could mess up your whole anatomy, which sucks. But that's why it's good to learn. these things. So this came straight from her face. So as we can see, the eyes are a little off kilter. And if we go back, we knew that it lined up perfectly with her eyes, pretty much with her mouth, and almost perfect with the bottom of her nose. And her bottom of her nose is in the right spot, but it's probably going to be more like this. And we did see before when it was on her. Here, let me change this color so we can see it more better. Here, we'll do like a dark blue. We knew that from here on the center, oops, if I can draw it again. Oops, if I can draw it again. That's good enough. Her nose doesn't fit completely with that line. Draw Diddy Kong, Nolan. I'm in the middle of something. Afterwards, I will draw Diddy Kong. So we can see this eyebrow. And we want to put this eyebrow like here, because that's where it is on this guide. And that eyebrow is going to lead into this nose. So that eyebrow is going to lead into the nose. Because like as we discussed, your nose goes into your brow bone. It always like goes into that. And then we can do that. And her other eyebrow is covered by her hair, which is fine. And then we need to look at the eyes, because the eyes, especially at this angle, get very confusing. We can see it's at a bit of an angle. So here, let's zoom in on her eye really quick. On this eye. If we just go down to simple shapes, it looks like that. And then this eye is just kind of more straightforward. Kind of like that. So if we go back over, but zoom out so we can still see her. And let me erase. Ooh, I don't want to erase that much. Let's erase that so we can see her eye a little bit better. So we can see at the bottom like this, and we see her eye like that. And then we can go over, use our nose as a guide, and we can see that her other eye is going to be somewhere in this vicinity. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect. Practice makes perfect. Also, it's a little difficult to draw over your already made face, but you know, you kind of get the point. And then her lips, we can see that her lips are very heavy and close to this side of her cheek. So we can, lips are kind of nice because you can just kind of draw that kind of shape and get the gist of where it's going to be. And then after you get like a general shape, you can go in and refine it a little more. Obviously that looks strange on top of your drawing because that just looks wrong to do, but you kind of get the point. You get the gist of it. It's really just about like finding those guidelines and using them to your advantage. Sometimes it can really be helpful to physically trace a portrait before you start. Although I know like sometimes, especially if you're doing physical media, it's kind of hard, but like getting used to drawing those shapes in general, just by tracing them, can work wonders, honestly, because then you get that kind of muscle memory in there a little bit, and then you can like, you can go over here and you can be like, okay, well here's the chin, and then I know her eye. Oops, see, even I mess up all the time. Her eye, and then her other eye. And then we know it goes into her nose, but her nose, the point of her nose is honestly more defined than the actual ridge of her nose. And then we got those classic Sabrina Carpenter bangs. And then even just by like using that guide, you can see that it doesn't look exactly like her. But you can see a lot of that resemblance in there. And then you can go in and fix things and move things around and do all those things and all the things. She's just so beautiful. It's like my hand just trembles trying to replicate her. That's real. That's so real. Other than like the facial anatomy part of things, I know we spent a lot of time talking about that, and I'm sure that can be a little bit boring. Overall, this looks really good. Down here, it does get a little confusing on what's going on, but that's okay, honestly. That's not the focus of the drawing, so it's not too much. I think if you, because her hair does go in front of it. What is this? Is this a chair? Sometimes it can just help identifying what it is that you're drawing. Like this. What is that? I think it's a chair. So then we can go back over and say, okay, a chair, a weird chair. And then, because her hair is very voluptuous, so you can also use that to your advantage. I do think that this bottom part of the hair is very strong. I think the shading there is very, very nice. The hands, she's got weird looking hands. Beautiful, beautiful hands, but a little weird looking in this photo. But yeah, I think you did a good job copying that reference. Yeah, I think the bangs look good. I think they could use like just a little bit more definition. And then kind of like what I was talking about with Petasonic, with the darks and the lights, I think it would be worth it to go in with your eraser. Here, actually, let me do this so I can focus on the hair. It might be worth it to go in with your eraser and erase the parts of her hair that are the shiniest, because that is going to be your highlights. And if you're doing like pencil and paper, going through and erasing those is gonna help a lot. And then also same with her skin. If you just like kind of lightly erase in these areas, it can really help bring out a lot of those values. Talking a lot about values today. Let's see who texted me. Speedy. Okay, let's draw Diddy Kong for Nolan really quick. Let me pull up a picture. I gotta plug my phone in, even though my charger is not plugged in. That's okay. Let's see. What picture of Diddy Kong do we want to use? Why does he look like that? Sorry. Just why does he look like that? I don't know why he looks like that. Diddy Kong, Diddy Kong. Okay, here's his head. Here's his mouth. Here's his big ear. And his eyes. And his hat. Why does he look like that? Why does Diddy Kong look like that? Oh, his hat is definitely longer. This is like brown. And his little head goes down there. And then he's got his little shirt on with the stars and his tummy. And then his arm goes out like that. And then he's holding onto his hat. There's Diddy Kong. Nolan, come look at Diddy Kong. Here, let me color him. Let me color Diddy Kong. Hold on. Nolan. What the freak? It's Diddy Kong. It's Diddy Kong. It's him. Nolan literally is like mega cringe. Lily, can you draw Nolan Kong? For sure. Okay, so he's gonna be evil. I feel like Nolan Kong is evil. And he has sharp teeth. And then big ears. And a bald spot. He doesn't actually have a bald spot. And then he'd have a shirt on, kind of like Diddy Kong, and it would have the Brobius planet on it. And that's Nolan Kong. That's him. And he'd be like Diddy Kong. He'd have like a little monkey tail. So, let's get back to critiquing art. Nolan Kong would be the Kong that betrayed the Kong clan. That's crazy. Oh wait, we're still doing Blue Dude. So let's go on. We only did one of Blue Dudes. Let's do this one. This one looks interesting. We're gonna do another Brina, because I like Brina. Oh, this one looks cute. Another Brina? Another Brina. Nolan Kong versus Cyborg Nolan is gonna be my next art piece. Hell yeah. Come on, Brina. I know what album cover this is from. This is from her most recent one. This one, because this one's from the one that has like Busy Woman and 15 Minutes on it, right? This isn't the... yeah, the deluxe cover. I saw this at Barnes & Noble the other day, and I was like, ooh, if I had $30. But I had to pay Nolan my $30 because he always says that'll be $30. So, I don't even think Nolan is here anymore, that freaker. That frick. Yeah, let me look up the deluxe cover since that will be our reference. Yeah. Her face is so hard to draw with this cover. It's my second attempt of it. I can see why. Let me... Oh, wait, no. Not link. Sorry, open image in new tab. There we go. Is Nolan the type of guy to beg you to buy him a Sonic toy at Walmart? No, I usually offer only if there's one there that we need. I usually say, hey, I'll get this. And he goes, no, don't get it. Don't get it. And I go, yeah, I'm going to buy it. The deluxe cover is so much better than the original. I agree with that, honestly. I do agree with that. So, I've got a picture of the deluxe cover pulled up. It does look pretty difficult to draw. I think you've done a really good job, though. I think, biggest thing, head position. I think that's the biggest issue here. Because in the picture, she's like this. She goes... She's really... She's like, oh, I'm Sabrina. My head is so tipped down. I'm Sabrina. My hair is glorious. Sabrina. Yeah, I'm Sabrina. She's like this. Ooh. And you have her like this. Ooh. And she's like this. Ooh. Album covers for me are hard because the subjects are usually over glamored or even edited a bit. This is true. That is also something to keep in mind, especially this picture. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but it's very bright on the top, which can be a bit difficult to portray. But yeah, I think, here, let me do this. If we select the head, and we... Oh, oops. I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, and we... I also think it might be, like, just slightly too big. Because her head is really tilted. So if we go like this... It's, like, hiding here. Is it possible... Also, I usually draw these at night with LEDs on, so lighting like this, lighting for this is a struggle. That's fair. So we do this, and then, can I move it backwards? Okay, that's fine. And we'll, oh, my bad. No, stop. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we're fine. Crisis averted. And her shoulder was like this. With her hair like that. That literally might be the only thing to fix, is her head position. Yeah, because looking at this, you've got the nose. The nose looks really good. The mouth looks really good. You've got the right, like, anatomy with the hair and the reference picture. The eyes, I think, are a little big, but I feel like it feels weird to draw really small eyes, even though, like, when we really look at pictures like this, eyes are really small, like, compared to the rest of the face. And you're so used to seeing, like, cartoons and stuff where eyes are huge. Yeah. I think her cheek could be a little flatter. Well, although it is a little pronounced in the thing. But I will say, I think something that just in general you might want to look into studying is eyes at different angles. Because I feel like a lot of the eyes that I see from you at different angles are looking very like you're looking directly at them. And like if you're doing a 3/4, the eye is gonna look different. It's gonna have a different angle to it, if that makes sense. Someone gotta draw a Miku album cover. It'll make their lives easier to draw. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Miku album cover. But yeah, I think honestly just the head angle and the eyes is the biggest thing here. I think the hair looks good. You've kind of got this like scratchy style going on, but I think it works with the picture because she's got like all those like flyaways and stuff. She's looking right at me in every image I see of her. Well, yeah, you can, like, I can turn my head and still look at you. But, like here, like down here, she can still be looking at you. But, yeah, I think... kind of like that, if that makes sense. Just something to look at. You can find, honestly, on Pinterest, which I'm sure you could also find just by doing a Google search, is, I think here, let me look it up. Go to Google Images. If you look up directional eye reference just on Google Images, it'll bring up a bunch of pictures. I only really use Pinterest for fashion. That's fair. Or even, I'm sure if you just type in eye reference. Yeah, it comes up with a bunch of different angles. There's a bunch of different styles. And it's worth it to just like, if you want to get better, because also another thing, you don't have to get better. Like, that's also just kind of something that will happen naturally if you just draw over time. But if you want to like actively improve these different things, I recommend sitting down and only drawing the things you want to work on. You don't have to draw like huge finished pieces. You can just draw like a whole page of eyes, a whole page of hands, a whole page of noses. Like, you can just kind of focus on what you want to do. And then I also do, if you are doing that, I still recommend practicing doing them on a full human scale with other features as well, because sometimes you can get super focused on that feature and then lose track of all the other ones. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I think it looks great. Let's look at a final image from Blue Dude, and I'll do one from the second email. Ooh, let's see. Let me look at these. I want to pick a good one. I mean, they're all good. Do you have a preference, Blue Dude, on which one you want me to look at? I like all of these. There's like an octopus looking one, there's the rocks, and then there's the eyeball, which we were just talking about eyeballs a lot. The watercolor one, is that the rock one or is that the octopus one? I feel like it's the rock one. The rock one, okay, perfect. Rock lobster. The octopus one is printmaking? I thought so. I thought that looked like printmaking. I love printmaking. I took a printmaking class. It was really fun. I made lots of cool things. I could actually go get something because I gave a copy of it to Nolan and it's in his closet right now because he doesn't have it put up because he's a staker. Motion in the ocean. Ooh, a little smaller. Perfect. This is gorgeous. I love this. I love this style of art. I think it's very beautiful. Beautiful? You know what I mean. Beautiful. My school works weird, so this one I could only work on 1 hour a day for only really 2 weeks on only business days, so it's a bit incomplete. That's okay. I've been trying to learn how to draw because I think I want to start a manga, but I'm afraid I don't got the skills to do it. Any advice? If you don't have the skills to do it, you will gain the skills by doing it. So you could just start. And if you don't like how it turns out, you can always start over. Keep what you already made. And if you do make a whole comic or manga or web comic or whatever you want to make, and you go through with it and then you improve over time, you can always go back to those original pieces and then redo them with the skills that you've learned. I don't have a lot of experience in comic making. I used to really want to make comics, but it's a lot of work. I even bought like books about comic making. I used to watch a bunch of videos. I wanted to make like web comics and stuff, but it was just like it's a lot of work. But yeah, you might start with something like storyboarding, learning how to storyboard. Might be good. Ooh, the reference is pretty. Okay, here, let me make room for this reference as well. Because I want to look at these two side by side. We're going to make this bigger, of course. And then paste. Oh my god. She's huge. They're always huge. She's always huge. It's my front window shield at dusk. Ooh. I love references like that. I love references that you don't really think about too often. So I can tell it's like this upper part. So here, let me... I'm just gonna crop it like this, because yeah, that's like the part that we're looking at. Cool. Okay. This looks great. Considering, like you said, the time crunch that you had and like the different days apart. Oh, sorry. This looks really good. It's when you put the reference next to it, it's really obvious. This is my only watercolor painting. I love watercolors. I definitely recommend watercolors. Like overall, I love watercolors so much. And then once you get good at watercolors, you can go to gouache, or you can just go straight to gouache. I love gouache. I think gouache is like my all-time favorite art medium. Although oil painting, I do love oil painting, although that is like a recent development for me. Looking at this, I love it. I like that you can tell the different, oh, here, I want to draw not on that layer, I want to draw on a different layer. I like that you can tell these are the rocks. When you actually look at it, you can tell that each rock is accounted for. Love that. I can tell that this is this rock. I think the biggest thing with this, it looks like just your technique with watercolors. I think watercolors are very, when you use them for the first time, they're very difficult to understand how they work, honestly, because you kind of get used to using Crayola watercolors, which work pretty good, but something that you don't really think about because with the Crayola watercolors, it doesn't work very well. I don't know what watercolors you used here, but if it's for an art class, I'd hope that it wasn't Crayola. Something that you don't really realize when you first use watercolors is that you can layer them. You can really layer them. For example, like you have these thinner washes down here, and also with watercolors, sometimes the lighter the better. I would almost recommend leaving out like not doing these darker parts with watercolor and maybe going back in with a colored pencil and doing those, just because it can be a little difficult getting those super dark values with watercolor. That's when you kind of go into gouache territory, which is kind of like a thicker watercolor. Overall though, this looks really good. I love this. I can kind of tell, I feel like this half looks a little bit more unfinished than this half, but I don't think that takes really anything away from it overall. Yeah, I think also like this one could use some work, but in general, going off of a reference, this is really good. I think if you weren't trying to make it look exactly like the image, that's totally fine. I do notice, however, like a lot of these shapes don't really line up with each other, which is fine if you're not too concerned about it looking exactly like the reference picture. This is from a class back in 2023. I got my portfolio at the end of the school year, so it's been a while. No worries, that's totally fine. But yeah, I think like you have a good sense of space and color. I think it's quite obvious. I feel like the only thing that I'd like to see, oh my god, I sound like an art teacher, that I'd like to see, that I think this would benefit from, is these lighter outlines, which I'm sure like you weren't done with this when you turned it in, just going based off of what you said before. But if you ever decided to redo it, I love painting from life. Yes, my art teacher was very upset I couldn't include those. That's fair. Because that is, like, I feel like without those, these do kind of blend in with the background. But if you had them in there, that would be a really good distinction to separate them from the background. Probably why I got a B in this class. That's a good grade. That's a good grade. Sorry. Ooh, it's been 3 hours of streaming already, which it doesn't feel like it, but my body is like, you're tired. So I don't actually know if we'll get to second rounds, but where's my calendar? I don't know where my calendar is. I may do part 2 of these submissions on another day, because I don't like hold on. Like on Monday or something. Because my next day off is on Monday. So I might, I am going to make sure everybody's gets seen once. Everybody has 3 of theirs seen once. And then I think on Monday I'll come back and do more. So, yeah. I died. We'll see you in November. No, because this is technically going to be part of this stream. But we'll talk about that once we get closer to the end, because we're not done yet. I'm just tired. But yes, I do really love this, and I think that it is gorgeous, and I think it would like be worth it. I don't know, you said this is your only watercolor picture. If you ever wanted to redo it, I would recommend going and getting some more watercolors, not the Crayola kind, and also not, let me pull up a picture. No dry pan watercolors, which is not like, you can kind of tell the difference. Like the ones that look dusty in the pan, in the circles, and there's usually like a lot of them, don't get those. Get ones that have like at least all the basic primary colors. They usually have like a purple, and they look creamier on the inside, but they're still dry, like they're not wet, if that makes sense. Look for something like that. And yeah, watercolors are so fun. I love them so much. And it looks like you have a good handle on how to use them. You have the thicker values and the like lighter values in other places. With watercolors, it's always good to start very thin and work up from there, even though not a lot of people know this, especially if you're using watercolor paper. If you just get your brush wet, you can kind of erase or lighten watercolors once they're down just by reactivating it with water. That's kind of the beautiful thing about them. But yeah, this is a beautiful piece. I love this very, very much. Let's do, we'll do Supersonic Mikey. Oh damn, he's got like full illustrations. Damn, okay. Mikey's got, let's do this one. Mikey sent like 4 fully illustrated pieces. Let's see. Is my... Okay, yes. I want to make sure my music was still going. Mikey's so talented, his style makes me jealous. With great practice comes... Wait, what? Wait. I don't know what I meant by that. You just gotta practice. I know it gets said a lot, but it's true. Mikey moment. Mikey moment. Okay, let's look at this one. This one looks really good. I like this. This is cool. What's his what's his full legal name? Supersonic Mikey. Okay. What is his full government name? Oh, yes. Okay. This one, great composition. We were talking about positive and negative space earlier. The negative space, we're still going to count this galaxy as negative space. And it is very strong. And then with the positive space, you can see that triangle right there. Something that I like doing, just because I'm weird, is whenever I see drawings, I like to find the triangles, even with Mario. Mario. Do you guys see the triangle with Mario? I don't know if you can see my freaking cursor over Mario. But he's got triangles. He's got multiple. He's got multiple different triangles that you can find within him. Yeah. We got a good triangle. As a whole composition, we got this over here, and then we've got another triangle like this. I would say this is definitely our main triangle. Bye, Petasonic. I think the one thing I'd like to see with this is a little bit more glow for Supersonic. I think that effect was a bit stronger, if that makes sense. Like, I like these lines. Somebody's turning on the hose and it's gonna be loud. I'm sorry. But some of these lines, I feel like he probably used an airbrush tool and went over the lines, because they look a little green, which is kind of what happens when you put yellow over black. I don't know why, that's just what happens. But I think it'd be cool to see, like, here. And then let me, like, more glow. I want him to be absolutely glowing. And then you can go in. Oh, that's huge. Hold on. Let me go in with like a charcoal. You can go in and like really make him shiny. And obviously like, ugh. Like you go in and you make a lot of those colors back to what they used to be. But I think I just want to see him glowing more. Because this background is so dark that I want to see him stand out more. And then I even think it would probably be worth it to go back in with some of those lines. Maybe not with black. I think black may be a little bit too harsh. I don't know what's going on outside right now. But like if you used this color again and you went back over those lines to make them stand out a little more. I don't know, I just want him to glow more. I think that's the moral of this story. Hashtag make Sonic glow more 2025. I want him to be like the star on a Christmas tree. Because if we look, like, do you see that difference? I don't know, that I think that may just be my personal preference, honestly. I just want him to glow. Because like I don't know how to describe it. He's already glowing a bit. I just want more. I want more. But yeah, let's look at another one of his pieces. I don't know if there's gonna be a lot to critique with these because he does have like fully fleshed out illustrations. Let's look. You should make a watercolor portrait based on Extreme. That'd be so fun. I need to get my watercolors out of the storage unit. A lot of my art supplies are in a storage unit right now. A lot of my everything is in a storage unit right now. So here's numero dos. Okay, I like this one. I do. I love this art style. I think he's got a great sense of line color. Like changing the color of your outlines is something that is scary, but it can really enhance your work. And obviously he's got this very unified color palette that has a lot of primary colors and then a tertiary color, or not tertiary, a secondary color, sorry. And they're all very warm tones, which is good. Oh, and then I guess we can count the line work. This is a very appealing color palette. That's something that, if you want a more stylish, a more stylized piece, looking up things like color palettes, like if you just kind of go to Google and you just look up color palette, it'll bring up a lot, and it will probably bring up something very similar to this. The reason that this works very well, like here, I just found this on Google, searching up color palettes. It is almost the same color palette that we have here. Very similar. Not exactly the same, but very similar. The reason that this works really well, color-wise, is because it's a unified palette, meaning they're all very warm tones. The blue tones that we do have very warm undertones to them. And then, complementing colors is a huge thing here. In case you guys don't know, let me pull it up. Do a little color wheel lesson. I'm sure you already know a lot of it, but so this is the color wheel, obviously. Blue and orange are complementing colors, which means that they're always going to look good next to each other, which is what's going on here. And then he's also taking from the warmer, so this is a primary, these are all primary colors. These ones are secondary colors. These are the ones that you get just by mixing primary colors together, and then you get tertiary colors when you mix secondary and primary colors. Tertiary is just another kind of way of saying trio, or like a third mix. And these also have complementing colors. Blue violet's gonna be yellow orange. Like they're all gonna have, like, red violet's gonna have yellow green. Each color has its own complement. No matter what color it is, it's always gonna have a complement. And when you put complementing colors together, it just looks good. And then another type of color combination is called a triad. So a triad, let me get rid of all this. Okay, so complementing is when you go directly across the color wheel. A triad is when you use a group of 3. So, for example, the primary colors are a triad, and you can move this triangle around and you'll get a triad of colors that will look good together. So let's see, if we did orange, purple, and green, I believe that's right. This green instead. More triangles. There are so many triangles in art. So let's see, if we did that, and we did this purple. Did I do that right? Yes. This orange and this green. That's like a funky, cool color palette. And you can do that with like all of them. So like, let's see, if I want to do this one, and then it would be this, and then it would be this. And that is very similar to the color palette that we have here. And they just work together. She's summoning Mikey. Oh my gosh. And then the last one I'll talk about, because there is more than just triangles, is you can get a group of 4. You can go boom, 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 boom. You can get like, which I'm pretty sure we've got a 4-1 going on right now. What if Sonic was a triangle? He could be. These ones, it's kind of like the more that you add, the less cohesive it's gonna be, but they're still gonna look good. It just, and now they're turning off the garden hose. So if we look at these colors and we try to match them with the colors on the color wheel, we've got like this color. We've got like this color, which is a yellow. We've got a red. And we've got an orange. Boom, 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 boom. Comes full circle. And a dark blue. Like, obviously you're gonna have more within there, but I would say that the base of this this color palette, the reason why it works so well is because of the primary colors and the complementing color added to that. So we've got a triad of colors and a complement within one piece. One piece. I do think the one thing, I do like that this rail, I like that this rail is negative space. And it's obvious what it is. I do think we have just a little bit too much weight on the top. But I think that could just be a personal preference. Some people love having a lot of negative space, very heavy at the top. But personally, with this kind of image, I feel like having this much orange negative space and then also having this much yellow negative space could kind of bring it down a little bit compositionally. I do think it still looks very pleasing. And then let's find our triangles. Boom, boom, boom. There's a triangle. Another you guys want another triangle? Boom, boom, boom. Easy. Oh, you guys want another? Boom, boom, boom. It just depends on where your eye goes. But yeah, I think this is another very strong piece. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Let's look at one more of Mikey's. In and around, gonna keep moving on. One way to find out. Okay. Oh, I got an itchy nose. Okay, this one is freaking huge. Oh, she's huge. I've said it once and I'll say it again. She's huge. Okay, I do think I have one critique for this one. Let me get this. Okay, I think this one and going back to this one, I think the biggest problem that I have, and it's not really so much of a problem, is that the style of Sonic is so different than the style of the background. The background is very realistic and Sonic is very stylized. And I feel like in this one it's not that big of a deal. But this one I feel like, I don't know. Like having, I think it works. Overall, of course, it's a very pleasing image. I don't think it's like a bad thing. But I do think it is a little jarring almost to have little tufts of grass and then no definitive hill line, while also having very harsh outlines on Sonic and having outlines on this mountain. I think that's my one thing, honestly, is just that it's, I think I would like to see wrong one. I would like to see, like, if you took like a dark green, if you do want to keep these lines in here, just something like a hill line, or even like with this, I think it would be worth it, especially since there is so much detail on these mountains, to keep it kind of in, maybe not that dark, but keeping it kind of in the same style as Sonic, I feel like would be pretty beneficial. But like I said, overall, it's a very strong piece. We've got those the triangles. Guys, I think all art is just Illuminati when you really think about it. And even as a whole image, when you look at it overall, it's very bottom heavy. He's very much using the rule of thirds. We've got him right here, the mountains right here. It's very balanced. Which is part of the reason why having all this negative space up here works, is because he's using the rule of thirds down here. That can help. I think I talked about rule of thirds a lot, and I know Nolan talks about it. Nolan was talking about it wrong for the longest time. But that can definitely help with your composition, using the rule of thirds, looking for these triangles. Because overall, when you look down here, you say, ooh, pretty sky, ooh, Sonic, ooh, grass, ooh, mountain, ooh, pretty sky. And there's another triangle. We love triangles. But yeah, I think sometimes critique can also be very helpful in knowing what to do correct, like what's working for somebody, rather than just critiquing it, if that makes sense. Like, we look at these full illustrations that obviously a lot of time and effort has been put into them, and we can look at why it works, and that can also help us learn better with our critique and our work on our own, is knowing, why does this one work so well? What is making this a very strong image right now? And recognizing that can be just as helpful as recognizing what is wrong with something, like what needs work, that kind of thing. Okay, let's quickly go through and we'll do Sonic Drift. He's got some in here. Oh, these are cute. I like these. Let's see, I want to do... Yeah, his art style is really cool. I want to do one of... I think these are thumbnails. It's got a very strong art style. Let me get one pulled up. Okay, I think I like this one. Do, 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 do. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through from it to you. Follow me. Okay. 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 Looking at this one, as a thumbnail, because when you look at thumbnails, it's going to be a little bit different because it is going to be viewed on a smaller scale. But I actually don't know if these are thumbnails, so we'll look at them in both ways. As a thumbnail, this looks great. It's a very overall cohesive image. If we want to look at triangles, if we want to find the triangles and everything, and then if we have an overall triangle, his art improvement is actually insane, especially this year. I think I looked at some of his stuff not last year. How long ago was my last art stream? Whatever last art stream was. I think we did look at some of it. I like this white outline. I noticed that is a consistent thing in all of the ones that he sent. I do like that stylistically, especially if these are thumbnails. It does help make the characters stand out. If this was an illustration, I would obviously say to get rid of that because we want everything to be more cohesive and more realistic. But yeah, I think the one thing that's standing out to me right now is her wings. I feel like they're a little bit not what her wings look like, but I also don't know if that is just what they look like in his style, you know? But here, where is she? I actually we have her, and we can see her wings kind of go up and then down. And if they're out, if we look at them from the back, if we look at a regular bat, there's just going to be that one thing, and it's going to go out more, which honestly, bat wings kind of suck to draw, if I'm being real. I've drawn bats before, and they're not very fun to draw, but I think it would look more like this if they were out. Well, maybe not like that at the bottom. I think they'd look a little bit more like that. And then obviously if they weren't out, they'd probably look a little bit more like this. But overall this is a very strong piece. I like the little snow effect over it and the lighting. I can tell that there's been other filters added to this to make it look more cohesive, which I think is great. I know that sometimes a lot of people use Procreate on the iPad to draw, and you can do it in a lot of different programs, but especially in Procreate, people know about like the multiply layer, the contrast layer. Like adding these different filters can sometimes really help bring all your colors together. But yeah, Rouge has her nice circle head, which I know she has. I think Drift uses IBS paint. IBS paint, could you imagine? Oh my god. But yeah, I think I would kind of like to see more of Shadow's reds coming in. I feel like with Rouge, I maybe would like a little bit. I know it's a very blue toned, but I think it would be kind of cool to see some more of that, like a bit of a contrasting color in there. Yeah, just some food for thought. I do think this is funny. I think if we were being a little nitpicky, it would probably wrap around a little more. But overall, I think this is a very strong piece compositionally. If we look at it with the rule of thirds once more, we can see that she's here, he's on this line. It's very balanced, very pleasing. Okay. Lily, draw Dixie Kong, Nolan. Get out of here. Let's see. I want to do this one. I want to do this one. So this one is definitely a thumbnail. Why you hating? 'Cause I'm your hater. I'm your hater. This one is really good. Where his mouth? Where his mouth at? Where his mouth at? Although that could be a stylistic thing. Mirrored Sonic scary. Sonic from the front terrifying. This is actually, I really love this. I like the glow effect of the eyes. His mouth don't look like that. No, but he's angry. He's angry. I can draw whatever mouth I want, actually. Watch this. or I can even do this. Nolan thinking I'm doing it for the Sonic art style. It's not my point. My point is where his mouth at. It could even be like that. But I think it'd be more fun if it was like this. If he was really angry. Yeah, I think this is also a very strong piece. I think the lighting is good. It's very glowy. It matches with the background lighting with these teal colors and greens that also go and tie into his eyes. Again, if we're looking at the composition, rule of thirds, he's all right here, and even his eyes are kind of central in that third point right there. I think it's very strong. I think it looks really good. This negative space over here, even if these words weren't here, I think it would still be a strong piece, even though I do like that this negative space over here does have a purpose of these words. Now we're gonna make him Evil Sonic, and he's gonna be crying blood. Yeah. Draw Dixie Kong. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. So here are her eyes. Here's her mouth. She's got her little earrings. She's got her little eyelashes. She says, "Oh my gosh, hello." She's got her little bangs and her little beret with her little curly cues. And there's her head, and she's got her like cute little tied top on, and she's got her big fucking ponytail, and then her arm is up, and she goes, hi, I am Dixie Kong. She says hello. Beautiful. And with that, I am going to end stream. Like I said earlier, I am going to stream again. Either I'm going to do the rest of the submissions either on Monday or Wednesday. I will get back to you on which one of those days, because I know that I am going to make plans with one of my friends on one of those days, so I'll let you guys know as soon as I know which one or the other it will be. But I do want to get through all of these submissions, so I will be back one of those days to go through the rest of them. So it's not going to be a whole month. in between like last time. But thank you guys so much for joining for almost 4 hours of this. I very much appreciate it. And Dixie says bye. And also, next time I accept submissions, I'll probably put a post on my community tab. That way, people who aren't in the Discord server, if they do want to submit, they can as well. And yeah, that'll be it for today. Mario and Dixie Kong say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for joining. In general, and always. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week where we will finish this. Bye. Bye. Bye.